In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Microsoft's filtering operations and sorting operations to sort and filter your data sets. Now, I've got this example data set that I brought up here. This is cell phone data from a certain company, and you'll notice that I have some headers on my data: record index, record index, file number, time, distance, all the way up to uplink modulation type. And each row is a measurement. So when we took a measurement, that measurement had an index, it had a file number, it had a time, it had a distance from the cell phone tower, it had a signal to noise ratio, and so on. All right. Let's say that I wanted to sort my data, maybe based on the distance I was away from the cell phone tower. Okay, so that would be column D. Okay, I want to sort my data on column D. Now, what I can do is click this box to the left of A and above 1. That selects my entire data set. Now, your menu up here is going to look a little different than mine because mine's a little bit older, but I have this data tab. Somewhere you have data, and then you have filter. Sort. We're gonna sort on distance. So somewhere you have a sort button. You should try to find your sort button, and I'm going to click the arrow there that says custom sort. All right. So when I do that, I want to make sure that this box, my list has headers, is checked. Otherwise, it considers the header as part of the data, which is not what I want it to do when it's sorting. Then I'm going to sort by, and I'm going to choose the column distance meter. I'm going to sort by distance. If your data did not have column headers, then this would just say column A, column B, column C, and so on. I'm going to sort on its values from smallest to largest, and I'll click OK there. Alright, so it looks like it has done its job. It's sorted the data based on this distance meter, so you'll see that the distance away from the cell phone tower is 0, and if I scroll down, then it's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on. So it's done a nice job, and if I go to the bottom, you'll see 6,322.4. So indeed, it seems that Excel has done a good job sorting my data on the column that I asked it to. Now, I wanted to point out, though, it does keep, as it should, the rows together. So it didn't just sort the values in column D, it actually moved the rows around. It sorted the rows based on their value in column D. That's usually what you want to do. And we want to keep our measurements, intact. So we want to sort the rows, in this case, based on the measurement in column D. Excellent. Now, there is always the question, or usually the question anyway, how do I get the original data set back? How do I undo that sort? Now, it might be impossible, actually. So let's say that I saved this now and I shut off my computer, and then I turned it back on and I was like, oh no, I need to get the original data back. And so there's no Control-Z option. In this case, I would not be able to get the data back. Now, I do have a Control-Z operation, so I'm going to hit that right now to undo my sorting. And what I'm going to do is to show you a workaround, or something that you want to do before you sort the data. So let me give you this hint. I'm going to come up to A, and I'm going to right-click on column A, and then I can insert. I'm going to choose Insert, so I've inserted a new column, which shifted everything to the right by 1 column. And I'm going to label this column Index. And what I'm going to do is give every row a unique number, starting at 1, going in steps of 1, all the way to the end of the data set. So I can do that quickly by typing 1, 2, or whatever, and then highlighting them and double-clicking this plus sign at the bottom right of that text box. Bam. Right? This counts by ones all the way to the end of the data set, 4,200 or whatever, however many records I have. But that's what it does. So now each row has its own index, and the index is currently sorted. Right? The index column is sorted. It goes from 1 to 4,000, whatever. Now, let's say I sort my data on column E now, the distance meter. So I'll just go to Sort, Custom Sort, Sort by distance, no, not speed, distance. There we go. All right, now it's sorted my data, right? And you'll see the index is sorted to 8, then 229. So it moved the rows around. Now, how do I get back my original data set then without relying on Control Z? Well, I select the entire data set, okay, and now I want to, yes, sort it by the index. Click OK, and now you see the index is back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And this now I'm back to my original data set. That's what I should do anytime that I'm going to be sorting. That way I can always make sure I get back the original data set. Okay, now I want to talk about filtering, and I'm going to filter my data on a different column. Let's choose column L here, uplink modulation type. You'll notice that some of the values are this Q, phase shift keying, and 16-bit QAM, but some of them are blank, right? And maybe that blank means that this row is kind of invalid. Row 7 is kind of this invalid measurement. Maybe I want to get rid of those things, but I don't want to permanently delete them from my data set. So what I can do is I can filter those rows out. And I am going to come up here to the top left and click that to select my entire data set, and then I'm going to click the filter button. And again, I'm under table tab, but you might see your filter button in a different location. I'm going to click filter, and now each column header has an arrow next to it. All right, I can use that arrow to filter. So I'm going to come over here to my uplink modulation type and click that arrow. All right, and now I get this nice little box. And I can, right now all of them are selected, but that's okay. But maybe if I scroll down, you'll see all of the unique entries in that particular column. So 16-bit QAM, 64-bit QAM, phase shift keying, all right, and then blanks in parentheses. So maybe I don't want it to show blanks. So I'm going to uncheck blanks and then hit X there. And so now my data are filtered, and you'll notice that the blank is gone, but the entire row is gone, so it's hiding somewhere, right? And also I want to point out that the row numbers over here in Excel have turned blue. They turn blue to tell you like you're currently working on a filtered data set, because if you forget you're working on a filtered data set, this could cause problems. And look at number 7 is gone, right? It's there, but it's hidden. 7 was blank, and so now it's filtered, and it doesn't have that 7 anymore, right?